Guys, before we go over why I'm out here amidst all this new construction here today, I want to touch on canceling contracts because I recently had a customer that had to abruptly cancel a sale. They were within their inspection and right to cancel period. And they said, I don't know if I can get into the details. And my response was, there's no reason to get into the details. You want to cancel the contract. Enough said, my friend, it's coming over to you. And I got a lot of pushback. That's my mantra, and I continue to get pushback on that from agents. This salesperson, a term of overcoming objections, has always bothered me, especially buying a home. Answering questions, addressing concerns, but overcoming objections. Listen, if you've got an objection to buying a home, I'm not here to convince you to do it. That's not how I run my business. I wouldn't want to work with someone who did that to me. So I don't like the overcoming objections mantra. And, I had people ask me, they say, well, you didn't even ask why they wanted to cancel. No, they were within their right to cancel period. I don't care what they wanted to cancel for. That's what the customer wanted to do. Maybe they changed their mind later. And I asked if there's anything I could do to address it. The answer was no. That's it. It's done, guys. It's done. There is no, and personally, guys, my opinion is any salesperson, when I deal with them, if I start saying no and they start digging and asking questions and how, why, what can we do, I get a little pissed off and then my guard goes up. So I don't like to conduct business like that. And that's what your right to cancel an inspection period here in Florida on as-is contracts is for. You can cancel for any reason. Sorry, sometimes that means agents don't get a paycheck, but I don't know. I don't like you getting murky there. I don't like the notion of convincing someone to go through with probably the largest financial transaction in their life if they're not ready to or if they don't want to. Just kind of always bothered me. And real quick, guys, you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe. Like, subscribe, please. Please subscribe, please. Somebody please subscribe. Now, why I'm here today in Beach Walk amidst all this new construction, it's not just because I have homes pending here and I was showing some homes here, but it's because we're going to talk about Warren Buffett dropping $1 billion of investment into home builders recently. So, we've been covering this, specifically Lennar and D.R. Horton. Much smaller than D.R. Horton, though, from what I understand. We've been covering this on the channel. I've been saying these home builders are very, very confident. And even if you walk around somewhere like Beach Walk here, they're moving full steam ahead. It seemed like last year, things took an abrupt pause. Everybody kind of pumped the brakes. It seems like reality is setting in now that, okay, this is the status quo for a while. Let's get these things sold. And that seems to be the view around the area here, most of Southwest Florida, for regardless of what builder it's with. So yeah, they do detail that the Lennar stock was $800 million and the D.R. Horton stake was significantly smaller, valued at $191 million, just $191 million. Not even big bucks, guys. Chump change. And people ask me a lot, how are the builders feeling? And I say they're feeling pretty confident because they're willing to make deals now. That's the name of the game for the time being. I don't know if that changes in the future or down the line, but that's where they are right now. If you look at Lennar's stock, it's up 7% year over year. From the start of the year, if you look at D.R. Horton, they're up 22% from the beginning of the year. And both these guys get a lot of flack on the internet. I get a lot of questions about it. So contrary to what is being reported about builder sentiment, looks like 37% of builders reported cutting prices in August, down from 38% in July. So a slight decrease. So 1 in 3 builders is slashing prices. Now it's going to depend on where they are, However, their use of sales incentives was 66% of their sales of all the builders surveyed in August, up from 62% in July. And that kind of echoes what I've been telling you guys is they've had to get more aggressive with the sales incentives. Just one thing alone doesn't seem to be doing it. And some builders have chosen to rebrand what those sales incentives are while basically offering the same thing. Some have decided to combine those with price cuts, which they were very hesitant to do for a long time. But everybody is one by one, seems like they're all getting on board. And the theme is, let's move all this inventory. Hell, let's build some more while we're at it. Because if you take a look anywhere in Southwest Florida, they haven't stopped the building either. So to see that kind of vote of confidence with their wallet from Berkshire Hathaway, I think that says a lot. You know, it's, again, this is nationwide, so everything's market specific. I believe it echoes what we're going to see here in Florida: continued building, continued incentives, continued discounts for the time being. I don't know if that's going to end, if it does. And it's interesting because the state on a whole is in a new report out of Wallet Hub indicating that Florida has some of the most financially distressed residents in the entire country right now. So you've got like a tale of two worlds here. And I want to dive into this article a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about and then get your thoughts on it as well. Okay, so this is the article, States with the Most People in Financial Distress, from Wallet Hub. Now, they are considering someone financially distressed if they have a credit account that is in forbearance or has its payments deferred, meaning the account holder is temporarily allowed to not make payments due to financial difficulty, so like a hardship. Now, their data set and methodology does also include factors like the average credit score, change in the number of bankruptcy filings between March 24 and 25, and the overall share of people with accounts in distress in these states. So the main findings is Florida's number 2. Texas is number 1. So Florida and Texas have the most financially distressed residents compared to the rest of the country right now, according to this data. California at 12, Nevada at 4, Arizona at 11. And you guys, I'll put this link in the description if you want to peek through all this as well. So obviously they have a ton of data you could dive through here. It's a little obscure, so I like the infographics they made better. If you look at change in credit score from March 25 to 24, number 1 indicating the most distressed, Montana, actually the most distressed for changes in credit scores nationwide. According to this, Wyoming doing the best. Now, if we go to change in the share of people with accounts in distress from Q1 2025 versus 2024, that's where Florida pops up as number 2. California leads the way. Best state on here, Rhode Island. Not sure why there's a T there. But New Hampshire, North Carolina on here as well. Change in bankruptcy filings. Florida again, number 5 in the country. So now they go into an in-depth look at the most financially distressed states. Again, Texas, Florida, Louisiana currently. And they kind of dive into this, give you a little bit of a summary. So you'll find things like Texas had the 3rd highest number of accounts in forbearance or with deferred payments per person, and the 7th highest share of people with these distressed accounts at 7.1%. They also had the 9th lowest credit score in the country as of Q1 2025. So what are they saying about Florida? Aside from that they are the 2nd most financially distressed people in the country, Florida had the 7th most accounts per person in financial distress, meaning accounts where the account holder was, again, giving a forbearance or temporarily allowed not to make payments. The 7th highest. They also had the 2nd highest increase in the share of people with distressed accounts quarter over quarter at 23%, which we saw up there. The Sunshine State had the 6th highest overall share of people with accounts in distress at 7.3%. Now, that might sound weird because we just read that up here, but this was the 7th most accounts per person, and this is the 6th highest overall share. So there is a bit of a differentiation there. Oh, this is going to get a little spicy. Red states versus blue states. Looks like red states are in more financial distress than blue states on average currently, according to their data. And the states are designated red or blue based on who they voted for in the presidential election. I'm sure this will cause no arguments in the comments section whatsoever. Now, this is their methodology. Like I mentioned, guys, it's a bit obscure. So they took 9 metrics, some of which we mentioned already, but those are credit score, people with accounts in distress, average number of accounts in distress, change in the bankruptcy numbers. 5 is debt search interest index. What is that based on? How many people are searching about debt? I don't know. 6, loan search interest index. I guess that's what that is. Wallet Hub defines account distress as one. Yeah, we know, in a forbearance. We got it. So kind of wonky numbers. I don't know how accurate all this is, but it's very interesting. So they kind of made the methodology and then determined the weighted averages. They kind of, this is their own scale. So who knows? And based on the sources, the data they used here, including Google Trends, I am going to go say, yes, this is basically they went to each state and saw how many people were searching debt and how many people were searching loans on the Google Trends there to include that. I don't know how much that's worth, but again, interesting nonetheless. So that was some surprising info for me. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below. and you guys know me, why I support new construction so much here. It's cheaper to buy than existing homes in a lot of cases. That's been the case here for a while, but now it's nationwide as well. They're saying nationwide, new homes are cheaper than resale for the vast majority of people. My stance has always been, even if they're not cheaper, the insurability, the insurance cost is the kicker, because some of these houses, some of these resales are, like, to me, potentially ticking time bombs. If you've got a house that's nearing 20 years old, or older, you're just going to see your costs go up and up and up. Now, that's not to say on these new constructions that's not going to happen, but you have a buffer zone of a couple of years at least. I don't know how long or what will change that, but you could always sell it and go buy another new construction, which is actually what a lot of these people are doing. So a lot of the buyers here come, and subsequent communities like Welland Park come from other communities that started a decade or two ago. And now their house is aging up to, it's roof time. Maybe I need an AC. Maybe my insurance is going to go up. And they're moving in to other new construction communities, staying in the same general area. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Just sign of the times. So as you can see, a lot to do here still. This is all going to get filled in. You can see a lot of new construction in the background, but these will all be houses one day as well. Maybe not right here, but potentially. So there's a lot to go around. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.